Hello, this is Mandy with Kincaid Special Creations. I am going to try to do a video on paper quilling. So what I have here in this folder is just paper quill ideas. These are images that were just free printables online. I'm just going to try to kind of do some paper quilling with them. So I'm just going to pick one and we'll see how it goes. I have paper strips. Some I've cut myself and I just kind of have them in these little folders, a bunch of different colors. These are kind of wide strips. Then I've also got paper strips that I bought on the internet that come like this. So basically I'm just going to choose, not really on width, but some projects you'll have to choose for width, but I'm just going to choose, once I know what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to look and make sure I got enough paper of that same color to do it. So I think I'll just thumb through here. It's just some simple things. I want to try to get decent at this before I move on to something more extensive. But yeah, there's just regular, just ideas. Here I think I could just do like different colors, greens and that kind of thing. But for today, I'm just going to choose a simple project and see what happens. These are coloring book pages, some old coloring books that I had. I just pulled the pages out thinking I might be able to use these as templates to make some art. So these are just ideas that I have. So we'll try the balloons to start. All right, so what I do is I just use this piece of paper. I got something on the other side I might be able to try to do one day. So I'm gonna, although it's going to have stick pin holes in it, but I will still be able to use it one day. And then I use wax paper and just cut a piece to go over top of it. And just pin that down. I try not to put any pins here because I'll be working here. I just have a needle nose bottle of glue. It's just Elmer's glue in there. I do have a little circle of pins here so when I can set it upside down so it'll always be ready. I am going to use the wider strip paper. So at this point, I'm just going to pull out some colors for the balloons. Maybe I'll do a light blue balloon. Got a light green. And then I guess I'll do a pale pink. This is all the pink I have left, so I just want to make sure I got enough. I got like 4 strips. So that should be enough. Let me go ahead and pull out 4 strips of the blue and the green. I don't really know what color I'll make the strings, but for now I know that this whole thing will be one color, and this will be one, and this will be one. To start, I'm just gonna kind of work my paper a little bit. I try not to work this paper too much. It is a kind of a cardstock and it wants to get air bubbles in it or something. I don't know how to explain it, but so I know I want to do the outline first. So I kind of gonna just curl it that way so it helps go around the edge. You kind of always want to start and stop on a straight edge. It's also nice to get, cut it down to the size you want. I'm just going to let it go right around and touch itself. So I need about that much. I'm just going to snip it there. Some of these little pieces you'll still be able to use. Like I might just be able to get that to go around like that. So since you have your wax paper down, we're just going to put some drops of glue on here. It's not going to stay on the wax paper permanently. You'll be able to remove it and put it on the piece of paper you want it to be on. Now, I learned this from Meredith at the Papery Craftery. I don't know if it's her idea or what, but she says to tear the edges. That way you have more fibers to work with when it comes back together. Okay, so now we're putting it down. We're gonna have to use these pins to help us hold it in the position we want it to be in. You kind of have to pin it where you see that you need it. I mean, you got to manipulate the paper. And I don't have enough to go and meet the other paper the way I want, so it's okay if you don't follow your template exactly. I'm gonna have to make mine a little smaller. So where it does meet, you want to put a little drop of glue on the edge of that paper to meet it up. And like squeeze it together. All right. And then just put pins in where you think they need to be until this glue sets. It just came apart right here, and I'm gonna fix that. All right, so that is setting up, and I can't move it yet, but I am gonna go ahead and try to make this. Let's see if I have enough. And I could make it be enough, really, because I don't have to follow that paper exactly. I might give it a little indent. Doesn't look like enough. I could glue it together like that and then glue it to my project right there. Which I may do. So I'm just going to glue this together. All right, I'm gonna have to use some pins to hold it together. This paper is pretty thick. It does take a little while for that glue to really sink in there. So I'm gonna use a couple pins to hold it together while it's bonding. Squeeze right out of my pins, and I'm going to put one behind it so that it will stay exactly where I want it. All right, let's see. Okay, it's holding together good. Now I'm going to just grab my tweezers here. Oh, it's not wanting to stay together. Actually, may bend it down a little bit so I can open it. That's the thing about projects. You do what you want with them. Even if your template is a little different. Unless you want it to look exactly like your template, then of course go for that. All right, so I'm gonna put one inside to put pressure towards that way, and one back here to hold pressure against it. All right, so yes, there's extra out here, but I don't care. Like, I don't mind. I made the balloon smaller all the way around, so it's gonna be fine. Now, I'm gonna do the outline of this balloon and this one, and I'll bring you back. All right, guys, I'm back. I've done this balloon in green and with the little balloon end. This balloon's gonna be pink. Now, everything's still kind of wet, so I'm gonna go through some of the, I'm gonna find some ideas of what to do inside. So I don't really want to decorate them to where they look like Easter eggs or anything. I do want to do a few different techniques inside. Like, I think maybe with the pink, I'll fill it with pink by using different size strips. So let me see if I can figure that out. So what I've done is measured from this corner to this corner. Let's see if it's going to fit and what it's going to look like. Okay, so then that's just basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue the ends and pin it, but I'm going to use that kind of same, that one's a little bit short, so like we could take some off of that. And it would probably go something like that. I think I may make this corner where all the ends will come from, and then they'll just come out and land wherever they land. So I think I'll do that for the pink one. Let's see, green. I know there's like a honeycomb technique or something. I don't know if that's what it's called, but you have a slotted tool and this paper will go right into the slot. And I'll kind of go this way a little bit, and then I'll take it out, grab it again, kind of go the opposite way, and just all the way down my strip. I'm gonna do that same thing. And I'll show you what it does to it in the end. It's a really nice filler. Gives a design that you don't really have to fussy with. All right, so now I have this. But when you scrunch it all together and put it in there, you can just glue it to the sides wherever it touches, and then just keep filling in, and it will fill that space for you, but still look pretty cool. All right, so we got lines and we got the filler part. So with blue, since blue is the full circle, I probably will do maybe a flower in it, or try to do something that's a little bit harder, not really hard, but a little harder than this kind of stuff. So just let me work on that a little bit. I think it'll be easier just to go through the green. I hope I have enough green strips. But basically, I'm just going to put some dots where it's going to touch my side. Scrunch it in a little bit, put a couple pins in there. Make sure it's flush down onto the paper because you don't want it to be all weird. Okay, so let me do some more. Now, I'm going to see if I can squeeze this in there. Hopefully it'll be my last one that I need to make. It is pretty full. Some of these you can manipulate to come out a little bit to fill a gap or to make it not look so bunched up. Okay. All right. I like the way that looks. I think it's full enough. If later on I feel like it needs more, you can always go and put just some different things down in it. For example, we can go ahead and do a couple. This is a really thin one. It's going to make tight curls. So, for example, I can put those little dots in there. All right, so say for example, that's all I wanted. Just put some glue on there. Like I said, this paper's pretty thick. It takes a minute for that glue to really soak in. If you're using thinner paper, like copy paper, kind of thin, it'll glue a lot faster. All right, so this is what I have. Just a circle. You can pick which side you like best. And then just put you some glue on the bottom. Actually on the sides, because you'll probably have it touching something on the side rather than the wax paper. So I'll just find somewhere to stick it, and then I will control it with this pin so that it glues where I want it to glue. It's not going to show a lot. It's the same color, but it's going to fill in a little bit, so you can do some of that. And I may here in the end, but I'll do that off camera. All right, so as for these, once you know what size piece you want, glue, tweezers, gonna have it go all the way to this edge. I forgot to put glue on the other side, but I'll just pull this up a little bit, glue it. All right. So we will have to manipulate with pins. So to get it to stay down, it's already curved, but to get it to stay down, I'm gonna have to put a pin at the top of this curve here. It holds that pressure. To get it to glue to the side here, I'm gonna have to put a pin up against the side so that I know it's gonna adhere there. Problem comes in is when I wanna also do this one to the side, I'm gonna have to move that pin and let this one in. All right, so glue both sides. your tweezers. Line it up the best you can. Put your pen up at the top to hold pressure on that rainbow shape. And then apply pressure there with your pen. All right, so I'm gonna go through and I will fill this in more, and then we'll take another look at it. Okay, so I'm satisfied with that for now. Like I said, I can always go in and put in a few swirls or something later on once I get all the pins out and I can really see if I like it or not. Now for the blue. I think I might try. I've never done a rose or flower or anything, but I may try one. So I may try a pink flower with a couple green leaves and then like blue filler in behind it as like sky or something. So I think I need to get some pink paper. Just break the fibers a little bit. It makes it easier to work with. All right, so I think I'm going to, let's see, have either 4 or 5 petals. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 petals. They're going to be the same size. And I think I'm going to kind of fold this in half. Give it a little pinch. I'm going to hold it and kind of fold these over and give them a little pinch. So when it comes out, I have this M. Looks like an M. Then I'm going to take my quilling tool and kind of pull out so it makes the legs of the M curvy. So then when it comes together, it kind of looks like a flower petal. That's my hope anyway. Haven't made any flowers yet. I've just seen them done. So here we go. Actually, I may make a circle to go inside. So let's go ahead and make these petals. Little squeeze, hold it, open it up, do another little squeeze to make your M. Come out with your legs in a curl. Okay, so let's pick, should we do the middle white or yellow? Let's see if we got a pale yellow. We got this pale yellow. I don't really know. Maybe we could go with a tan inside. Okay, we'll try that. Now, I've never done this technique either, but it's, you make bunch of lines, leaving some spot to roll up there. So now we're going to get it in our tool. I'm going to carefully wrap, trying to make sure your bottom stays even. So you can see how the middle of the flower is going to look. So we got to decide how big we want this thing. Compared to our flower petals, you know, we don't want this mega middle thing if our flower petals ain't going to be that big. So what do you think? That might be big enough. Oh no. Just unrolled it. Let's roll it a couple turns here and then we'll rip it off. All right, so we glue. I'll put some little bit of extra glue on there. I'll probably extra glue everything, honestly. All right, we're gonna have to hold that. But then we can fan out our flower middle to get it to look like what we want. It looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue in here just to keep it in that tight wrap. Kind of gluing all those pieces of paper together. Now, maybe I will try to put it together outside. No, I should probably put it together inside the balloon because I may have to manipulate the size of it. Also really kind of wanted it just on the side. So I may not use all of these petals. We'll see what happens. All right, so I'll put some glue on the side here for whatever it touches. We're going up against the edge. I use this pin to hold it down. Our flower petals, we're going to put glue on the edge. Start over here. I probably shouldn't have fanned out the middle because now it's really not touching where I need it to touch. But I glued this pink petal to the side here. I'm gonna kind of squeeze that middle back up so I can try to get some gluing area. All right, next. We're just taking these and manipulating them to get where we need them to get. And now we'll have more surface gluing area on the sides that will be touching the other petals. All right, so I can already tell that I don't love it the way it is. I'm gonna have to take something else inside those flowers to dress that up a bit. So I know there's gonna have to be that. But let's take some green. See what we can do with that. I just pinched off a piece, and I think if I can get in here and kind of, well, not so much, but I didn't mean to put that bend in there. I'm more so looking for just a slight curve. Something like that, maybe. This is probably gonna be way too big. Yeah, I think that's too big. We're gonna cut that down. See what that looks like. All right, that looks better. Okay. I'll keep that. I'm just gonna glue this end here. Squeeze it back in there. Put a little pressure on this end. Yeah. Actually, I may not need it. I think it's sticking in there pretty good. So I want to do the same, but maybe either bigger or smaller. Let's see. See what happens. I think it's the same size. That's better. Here we go. I like it. I like it. Do we need more here? What do we need? Maybe another one down there. So we'll try that. It's hard to rip straight. I mean, it's really difficult. But, oh, need to curl it, make sure it's gonna do what I want. And then I'm just better try it because it could be enormously big. Do I even like it? Oh boy, I don't know. I think I'm liking the smaller ones better. So I'll just put several small ones in there. Should be fine. Okay. Oh, I didn't curl it, but we'll see what happens. I may like it straight. You never know. Things happen for a reason. So I do want a lot of this balloon to be blue. So I'm gonna take my small, I'm gonna try to use my battery operated one. Let's break the paper fibers so it's not so hard. Oh, went a lot faster. Okay. So the battery operated one is kind of a wimp when it comes to bending these up on themselves. Now this blue is, I'm using a smaller tool, so it's going to be smaller circles. When you're rolling your paper, try to make sure you stay level, because like when your paper goes kind of cattywampus like that, it doesn't want to set on your paper just right and all the glue reach where it needs to go. All right, so see, now we have a smaller area rather than the big like that. So this is what I want to do to fill in the rest of this balloon. I think I'm probably going to stop with the green and start filling at this point. So like I said, just everywhere, you can just glue wherever you want, because even between the folds you need glue. All right, so let's try to get this filled in around these leaves and flowers. Try to make sure you're not distorting your flower petals too much, but a little bit's okay. All right, I'm gonna keep doing that same thing and fill up this balloon and see what it looks like. I see just a little bit more space in here. I'm gonna have to take some of these pins out to get to that space. Hopefully those pieces are dry enough. I don't think I can use a whole piece of paper, so I will just rip this paper in half, see how much coverage I can get. Okay, so I see this little space. I don't really like that. And there's some other spaces in here that I will just take little pieces of this. I'll go ahead and curl the whole thing and then just cut pieces off of it to use. So I believe I will cut this one right here. Gives me this little piece. Just a couple dots here and there and see where it fits. All right, good. I see a hole there. I'm gonna have to move some of these pins. I'll just cut this piece off. All right, that fills that one. All right, so there's a little extra piece. So I need to let that dry real well. Don't really know. I think the green's probably dry. I'm gonna go ahead and take the pins out of it. And take a look. Do I want to add some more green? So since I have one in here already, I am going to do a few more of those tight coils. I think just half a piece will do. Couple glue spaces. Find somewhere to put it. Put it in this. You really have to have something to glue it to, so you have to have it touching a side. So that's the thing about it, is can't really fill these big spaces with them, with these little tiny curls. They keep getting bigger and bigger. To get the same size, you would probably need to measure your paper before you roll it and try to roll it the same, like tightness. All right, let's go down here. That one's pretty tight in there, so it should be fine. This paper, I'm gonna rip into thirds. They're not all the same size, as you can tell, but it's okay. It'll give a little bit of difference to it. Okay, so I got those in there. I don't really love them, but it is something you can do to fill in some space. I think I may try a couple swirls just to give it a little extra. See how that goes. Now a swirl is where you start with the curl, but it has somewhat of a little tail or something on it. So again, I'm gonna just cut some of this paper down. Curl up some. Now this is thick paper, so it doesn't unroll like other paper does, but that's basically what you want. And kind of give it a little curl. And it makes a swirl. Now, problem is trying to figure out where. I think that's too much, so I'm gonna take some of that off, where it's gonna fit. Like it could fit there. So I'm gonna do a couple of these. So just gonna put glue in certain places where it'll hold. I think I'm losing like the simplicity that I was after, so I think I'm just going to stop until it dries, and so I can remove all the pins and see what's left. If there's any really big gaps, I may just fill in like this. I see this one gap. Let me go ahead and fill it. I'll just use this curvy piece and kind of fill in that right there. All right. I mean, I think the rest are okay. I may put a swirl right there. Just a small swirl. That might be too big. Okay, let me set it in just like that. I think the only thing's really going to be touching is that edge. So right in the middle. Bring this edge out here against that. All right. All right, guys. Now, I know I still want to fill in some on these flowers. This might be dry enough to get rid of these pins. So, I may try to take it and see what this does. Like if I put that in there, what's it going to look like? All right, so yes, I think that's what I want to do. I've just got paper bent, too longer, too shorter. Don't know if it'll look, what it will look like if I did one, a fifth one in there. Let's see about that. No, I think that's too much. I think it looks a bit cluttered. Can't really tell the lines. All right. So what I do know, since all these petals are the same size, I'm gonna make all of these, well, 6 of them. So that's 3. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. 6. Okay, so we got 6 big ones. And we're gonna make 6 small ones. I already have 2. I may have 3. I don't know how many I got really, but. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. All right, so each of these flowers will get 2 of the big ones. And the glue is just going to go on the end. Kind of inside a little bit to get to each other outside. Just in case it hits something it can glue to. All right, so all of them are going to meet down here in the bottom. So there's going to be a lot of glue down there in the bottom anyway. All right, guys, so you know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to keep working at this. My phone is on 10%. That's what I'm videoing on. If it does not record all this, I'll bring you back when it's all done. That one was a little bit long. So I have to cut that off some. Take your tweezers inside and try to like open the papers back up a little bit. All right, guys, we got our flowers. Gonna mess up this middle here. All right. I'm liking how it turned out. The only thing we did not do are these strings here. We didn't even pick a color. I mean, I guess we could just do, we don't want to do white because we'll probably put it on white piece of paper. I don't see any, well, I have black. Should we use black? That might look okay. So what I'm going to do is probably double this black up. It's already thick, but to make it look more like a string, you know, we could also probably, wonder what it would look like if we had a spiral, kind of like a, I don't know, like a ribbon. Let's see if what we can do here. So if we took the middle and pulled, can we make I think that's too thick. I don't think that would look good. Let me see. I hate to use a different size paper because I don't know what it would look like either. Nice if we could get like a really tight coil. Maybe we start at a diagonal here. What happens? Ooh, okay. It's going to get bigger and bigger though. But we don't need very much of it. Probably just about that much. We'll have to have the end flat to get a good glue. It's still not like the same thickness anyway, because I've done laid the paper on its side, so I don't really love that. Maybe I'll just go with the traditional. Let me get another piece of black. What if we use that same color as the middle of the flower to bring it out? I'm going to glue these two together. It's going to make it really thick. Or this one piece, fold it in half, glue it together kind of thing. Yeah, you know what I mean. Not going to need all this, so I think I can cut it and you get both out of this one. All right. Then we let it dry completely. Just gonna put a bunch of glue here, a couple of dots just to get it to stick to our paper. Put a couple pins in there. So it hopefully will not move. Okay guys, we'll let it dry and we'll be back. Okay guys, so I've let this dry a little bit and I'm going to take it off the paper now. So first we have to take all the pins off. I like how the flower turned out. So now we're going to remove the image from the wax paper. So, see, we'll be able to use this again. It's just got holes in it now, but it's no big deal. You'll still be able to see it. All right, so I'm gonna take our tool here, try to get it, maybe not, maybe we'll use our fingers, I don't know. That's why we just used the glue dots, to try to be able to get this back off. Okay, so you will have some glue around the edges. You can take your scissors and just cut those off. You won't really be able to see the ones inside because of all the things we have in there, which we really didn't glue to the paper in there. We glued to the paper to each other. Let me try these scissors. You can do this as good or as not as good as you want. I mean, it's really not going to be seen much. I mean, people would really have to inspect it to see it. Okay, so, and then after this step, let me move this out of the way. After that, I have this textured white paper that I like to use. I never know what I'm going to do with it next, so I would recommend putting it on a bigger sheet, because you can always cut some of it off that you don't need. So that is what I'm going to do with this one. I'm just going to get it positioned right. Try to straighten it up for y'all. And then I'm just going to glue it down straight into the middle, and then I have all this to play with if I want to cut it down from there. All right, so we just kind of try to get glue all over the back in some key areas, especially the bigger pieces, the outline. You can also put glue on, well, let me get a bigger Elmer's glue, might be what we need to do. Just kind of get some around here. And we're gonna just get glue all over the back of that. You probably could use a paintbrush to brush it on, or take your really a while and actually squirt it on everything. All right, I'm gonna call that good and try to position this in here where I want it. Press it down. And I'm gonna let that dry. Sometimes I put something heavy, make sure it's on a flat surface. It's not very flat. Let me take it out of this book. I should have done that to start with. All right, now I'm just gonna use my stack of paper here. Just set it down on top of it. And let that set up for just a little bit. All right, guys, that has been setting for a little while. So we're gonna bring it up here a little closer to let you see. You can see our light's not real good that close to the camera, but you can see where we plugged in those tight spirals and then the loose spirals. You can tell the difference between this pattern and this pattern, how much it filled it up. The pink, you can tell how we came all from this edge here and they just came out. And the flower, you can see our pinks in there, the green leaves, we could put a couple of those in there, and then we fill the rest in with blue. These lines, or the strings, are holding pretty good. So yeah, so there's our balloon picture. All that's left to do is figure out what to do with it, put it in a picture frame, or make it into a card, or whatever we want to do. So thanks for watching, guys. And I'm going to attempt to do one of these paper quilling videos every couple months. I'm also doing some sewing projects every couple months, some home improvement, along with all the other things that are on our channel. So stay tuned and you can see how good we get and what else we make. Thank you. Bye.